Welcome to your WireSides assembly guide. Start your assembly process with cutting all the long lengths of steel and aluminum. Depending on your cutting setup, start with the steel tube as per the deductions in the assembly manual. Make sure that all safety and personal protective equipment is used during the assembly process. Ensure all safety equipment and guards are operating effectively and operational training has been provided. Cut all profiles, including the cassette front and back, bottom rails. Depending on your setup, similar profiles may be cut simultaneously as long as all safety clamps are used. Having cut the WireSides bottom rail, assemble the WireSides end caps with the stainless steel WireSides guides. Ensure that the spring is on the outside of the end cap and the spacer on the inside. Screw the threaded end stop on and insert the assembled end cap into the bottom rail. Insert the assembled end cap into the bottom rail and fix with the screw provided. Repeat this process for the opposite end. If there are any hold-down mechanisms that are being used, insert these into the bottom rail before securing the other end cap. For skin manufacturing, refer to the deduction sheet for the overall skin width and drop. Depending on your setup, cut and square the skin first. Weld the keyway kedar top and bottom appropriate to the system you run. Refer to the assembly manual for the final top shoulder cutouts. Slide the bottom rail onto the awning skin. Centralize the fabric and fix off the width screws provided. For the wire sides and free sides, ensure that the screw picks up the welded kedar and holds tension on the fabric. For the open brackets and gearbox operated system, you will need to attach the stainless steel top bush to the bracket. Use a 5mm Allen key to tighten the wire bushes to the bracket as well as the gearbox and pivot pin plate. For an electric motor operation, repeat the process, but this time use an electric motor mount on a side the electric motor will be. For the assembly of the full cassette end caps, you will need to drill a hole for the top bush. Make a mark 20mm in from the back edge and 15mm from the bottom edge. Using a 6mm drill bit, drill a hole in both end caps. Use a 10mm drill bit to then countersink the outside of the end cap that will enable the top bush screw to sit flush once assembled. Attach the wire guide top bushes to the inside of the cassette end caps. Use a 5mm Allen key to tighten. For a gearbox operation, there will be a 78mm idle end and a 78mm square drive end. Insert the 78mm drive and idle ends into the tube. As these have open ends, the awning skin can be easily slid on. The idle and drive ends can be secured by drilling 3mm holes and riveting the ends with the tube. For an electric motor, there will be a 78mm motor crown adapter and a 78mm drive adapter. Insert the crown adapter onto the motor, followed by the drive adapter, and secure onto the end of the electric motor. Once the drive adapter has been secured to the electric motor, the assembled motor unit can now be inserted into the 78mm tube by lining up the keyway openings in the drive and the crown adapter. With either the motor, spring, or gearbox drive end inserted, you can then slide the tube onto the awning fabric skin. Once centralized, roll up so the fabric is rolling off the back of the tube. If you are assembling a full cassette WireSides system, attach the assembled end caps by screwing onto the rear cassette. If you are assembling a gearbox-operated WireSides system, you will need to allow for a cutout section to allow for the gearbox crank. Measure in 35mm in from the operation side on the front cassette and 45mm up from the bottom. If you are assembling a spring or electric motor system, this step is not required. Your WireSides awning is now ready to be packed up and ready for installation. Thanks for partnering with Shaw of Australia and the WireSides Awning System.